Hi, I'm Savita. Welcome to my online sewing class. In this class, I'll show how to alter the length of your jeans keeping the original hem. So let's start. The original hem of the jeans has a unique look, and if you just cut to the desired length and fold and sew, you may not get the same look. So I'll show you how to retain this original hem but still alter the length of your jeans. Before starting with this, let me show you what are the tools we would need for this project. We would need a sewing machine, fabric shears, a seam ripper, few pins, marking chalk. More importantly, you would need sewing thread with the matching color of thread used in your jeans. This is thicker than the normal sewing thread usually used for denims or thicker fabrics. So if possible, use this so that you get similar look what you see here. However, if you do not find this, you can use your normal sewing thread. First of all, you need to mark your desired length for the pants. You can measure the length on your body, or you can measure the length from one of your well-fitting jeans, or you can weigh the pants and fold to the desired length. The length I need here is 36.5 inches. So from the waist, measure 36.5 inches and do a marking. Now that you have got your length marking, measure from the hemline to that marking. It's 3.5 inches. Measure 3.5 inches from the hemline upwards and mark all around. Do the same on the other side. This is the desired length. Now mark 1 inch upwards. Now keep the edge of the hem on this line, that is the above line, and pin it in place. Now we'll be sewing here to the edge of this hem. Turn the fabric all around in the similar way. Make sure the edge of the hem is on the first line, and also very important is to align the seams on the hemline as well as here above. Align and then pin. The seams are matching perfectly. Do this all around. Make sure the other seam is also aligned perfectly. Now we'll be sewing here all around, that is to the edge of the hem. So let's start with sewing now. For normal sewing, I'll use this thread, and later for top stitch, I'll be using this thicker thread. Chain to single footer. Now sew here all around. Lock at the beginning and the end. I'm starting from this seam so that the seams are aligned perfectly. Do it little by little. You should not be stitching on this fabric. It should be on the lower fabric, but to the edge of the hemline. Now this is where I've sewn all around. This is how it looks on the other side. Now what you need to do is mark ½ inch away from the stitch that you just made, that is towards your right, and cut off the extra fabric. From the stitch, mark ½ inch all around. Now take your fabric shears and cut on the ½ inch mark. If it's difficult to cut all the layers together, you can cut 2 layers at a time. Now you would want the inside of the garment to be as neat as outside. So we will hide this seam. To do that, just open the stitch that you see here. There's the original stitch with the use of your seam ripper. Removing the stitch may look like too much work, but it's really worth to get a neat finish, and it's very easy with the seam ripper. You can just open this after you open a little. So remove the stitches all around. Remove all the loose threads. Now open the seam, push this seam allowance in, that is the raw edges in, and fold over again. So this is how it is on the right side. Raw edges are concealed in, and then you're folding it. This marking you see here is where the original stitch was, which we just removed. Once you cover the raw edges, you will be sewing again on the same marked line. You'll be sewing all around. Before sewing this, change to your regular footer. Push the raw edges in, fold the hemline, and pin it all around if you need to. Lock at the beginning and the end. And when you come to the side seams, if you find it too bulky or thick to fold, you can just cut a little bit of the seam here with the raw edges to remove the bulkiness. Now it's easier to fold. At these side seams, it might be a little difficult because it's very thick. When you find it difficult, slightly lift the footer, adjust the fabric and put it back, and sew slowly at that part. I'm sewing on the same line where the original stitch was. So this is the one we just finished, and this is how it looks on the right side, and this is how it looks on the inside, and this is yet to be done. So do the same for the other leg. Thanks for watching this class, and for more tutorials log on to our website savisfashionstudio.com. In my next class I'll show how to make a buttonhole with this machine. See you soon in the next class. Until then, happy sewing.